Abercrombie. I'm a guitar instructor here at Tone Tailors. Today I'm going to be breaking down one of my licks. I'll show you how to play it, but I'll also try to help you apply some of these things to the stuff that you're writing. So first I'm going to play it all the way through, and then we'll break it down. So I've provided you with the tab. I've also provided you with the chord charts. So typically when I'm doing chord melody stuff, I don't really use tab. I will write out chord charts, and then the licks that I play just kind of happen to be in the same position as the chords that I'm playing. So for example, let's start. First we start on this A6. The lick that happens after it, it's in the same position that this chord is in. So I'm not really thinking about the lick, I'm thinking about the chord. I'm not thinking about the individual notes. I'm thinking about where my hand falls on the neck to make the chord. And then I'm thinking about almost the lick is like an extension of the chord, right? So A6, so I have 4th fret on the E, 7th fret on the B, 5th fret on the B, which resolves to an E major 7. I'm kind of thinking about this shape here. It's a pretty common shape, but rather than playing the E on the A string, I'm just playing it open to give it a little more bass. So all together, that first part of the lick. Now I'm going to an F sharp minor, a G sharp minor, and then back to my A major. So with my F sharp minor, it's not really like a lick, it's just kind of, I'm going from F sharp minor to an F sharp minor 9. So those are my chord, and then I have my notes. And then G sharp minor. And when I add my pinky onto the E string, I'm actually adding a note that's inside of that chord already. So that's a G sharp minor, but that's also a G sharp minor. Resolve back to my A, but I don't play the B string, so my melody sounds like this. So all together, that first part. Right, and then that repeats. Now I move up to a B minor 9, and then an E9, and then resolve back to the A. So that's kind of a cool exchange that I want to break down just a little bit. So far, I would consider that we're in the key of E major, right? So we have our 1, E major, our 2, F sharp minor, 3, G sharp minor, 4, A. So we played it 1, 2, 3, 4. So while I started on an A chord, I'm not really thinking about this as being in the key of A. A lot of people think, okay, my first chord in the song is an A, I'm probably in the key of A. That's true often, but not always. So I'm in the key of E, that's my 1. When I play this B minor, I'm kind of doing a 2-5-1 in the key of A. So it's kind of making A now sound like the 1. So I have, so that's a cool little exchange. Now the way that I get out of that is by doing a really common thing that people do with 4 chords. So 4 chords are typically major, but we've all heard that resolution where it goes minor. By making this major chord an A minor chord, A minor 9, I'm kind of returning back to that E. Now for the rest of the lick, it's actually the same 3 chords over and over, but this is kind of a cool exercise because you can see if I have, for example, what we're about to play is a C, a D, and an E, I don't just always have to play I can play it here, and then I can play it here, and then I can play it here. Right? So let's break that down. So first let's kind of talk about harmonically what's happening. So if we're in the key of E, C is outside the key, and D is outside the key. So we call this a flat 6, a flat 7 to 1. Now that's, most notably, when I hear that chord progression, I immediately think of With a Little Help from My Friends by the Beatles. So it's kind of like a cool resolution. You have two chords that are outside of the key, but you're kind of rising up to get back to that home spot, that 1. So every time I play it, I play the flat 6, the flat 7, and the 1. They're all as major 7 chords. So I have a C major 7. And what I'm doing there is I have my index finger barred, and I'm hammering onto my pinky to get that little bit of flavor. That sweet cream, pure vanilla. So C major 7, same thing with D major 7. You just slide that shape up 2 frets. Start with your index finger barred, hammer onto your pinky, and then E major 7. Now the next 3 chords, like I said, we're just doing C, D, and E again. But we're gonna kind of use different chords as substitutes. So think like E minor 7, right? But this is an E minor 7 sharp 5. So your 5th is there. And that's really cool. So what that chord is functioning as is a C. So in an E minor, sorry, let me go back. In a C major 7, the E is the 3rd. So if you can find the 3rd of any major 7 chord and build a minor 7 sharp 5 around it, now you have a substitution for just your regular major 7 chord. Right? They kind of sound the same. And there's subtle differences, but functionally they're the same. So I did C, D, E, and now I'm doing E minor 7 sharp 5, F sharp minor 7 sharp 5, which is functioning as my D, and then G sharp minor 7 sharp 5, which is functioning as my E, right? So if I'm playing this chord, that's my root. If I'm playing this chord, that's my root, and you guessed it. Cool. So now we have one more time through the flat 6, flat 7, 1. So I play kind of like the drop 2. If you know all your, I guess these are actually drop 3 shapes. So we have C major 7, but all the inversions. So this would be like the first inversion of a C major 7. And I kind of went to that because I was already up here. That's kind of like the closest C major 7. And then D major 7, just the root position. And then land on the E major 7 that we already were at. Call it a day. Thanks for watching the video. If you have questions, be sure to leave comments. And thanks for subscribing to Simon's Patreon page.